Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Andrea. I'm the Knitting PT, and this is my channel where I talk about all things about fiber and yarn, knitting, crochet, you name it. Alright, it's been a while since I filmed, which I realize I'm saying a lot these days, but life is busy. We are approaching the end of the school year for my kids, so there's just been a lot of stuff going on. I'm hoping to be more regular as the summer goes on with filming, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? So in the meantime, I'm back here today with a quick update for you on my projects. I feel like I don't have a ton to talk about because I've been knitting fairly monogamously on one or two projects at a time. So I've made a lot of progress, but isn't like, I don't have like 5 things to show you. But it is what it is, right? So first off though, before I get started, let me just do some housekeeping things. Everything I talk about will be linked in the description box below, along with my Ravelry, Patreon, Ko-Fi, my website, and my shop, where you can find on-demand videos for purchase, along with my wrist and hand care kits. The half foam rollers are coming back in stock very soon. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, and also I'm writing a blog now with more information about our bodies and about exercise and posture and ergonomics. So check that out also if you have the time and if you're interested. Otherwise, yeah, I will link everything I talk about below: dyers, makers, pattern designers, that kind of thing. Sorry, it's been a while, so I'm kind of rusty. So that will be all below. But first off, before we get into the usual content, I do have something I want to share with you today about an ergonomic chair. If you're not interested in watching them, then I would just skip below to the timestamp that I'm going to put down here to get to the regular content. All right. So if you're not interested in hearing about ergonomic chair, my thoughts about it, skip below to that timestamp below. But otherwise, keep listening. I recently received the Hinomi H1 Pro V2 ergonomic chair. This chair features an adjustable dual functional headrest, 3D lumbar support, retractable leg rest, and 5D adjustable armrest. I can adjust it to suit whatever I'm doing, whether it's working on my computer, knitting, crocheting, even spinning. The lumbar support, retractable leg rest, and adjustable armrest really help me get comfortable and keep my body supported. I'd say that as someone who works at my desk a lot, but also does a lot of crafting, I find that the leg rests and the adjustable armrests are really important for helping me to tailor this chair to whatever I'm doing. If you would like to check out this chair for yourself, I have an affiliate link below where you can click on it. And if you choose to purchase something, I will get a small compensation. So thank you in advance. I know this chair is a little bit more pricey, but I do think it is a worthwhile investment if you have the funds to do so. They also come in really cute colors, which is always a bonus. Okay, so let's talk first about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Springline tee. This is a design by Samantha Guerin. I test knit this for her earlier in the spring, and here it is. So as you can see, it is worked top down, and it's got this beautiful lace panel on both sides. I found the lace panel to be very easy to memorize and to also look at it and know where I was, but I would consider myself like an intermediate lace knitter, okay, like advanced beginner to intermediate lace knitter, I would consider myself. So but I think it is very beginner friendly. It's only 6 row repeat, so yeah, much easier to kind of remember and to kind of look at. I knit mine in Woolberry Fiber Co. in the Cormo base, which is a base that they don't carry anymore. They only carried it one time. So it is 100% American Cormo. This is the colorway Toffee Chip. And as you can see, it has a different texture to it than, regular superwash merino does. It has a bit of this curly-ish kind of looking texture. The fiber had a bit more crimp to it when I was working with it. If you want to hear more about that, you can reference my earlier videos where I talk about it a little bit more. But I'm finding it to be fairly wearable. It is kind of warm. So it's good for like spring transitional weather, but not in like the super heat of summer, I would say. Yeah, but this design is super easy to wear. I really like it. It's really flattering, I think. So if you're interested, go and pick up a copy from Samantha. I feel like this kind of construction where there's like lace panels on the side is very much like kind of her design aesthetic. Her petal party crop has the same kind of design, and she might have another one that's kind of like that. But I can't recall right now. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. All right, in terms of finished projects, I have two to share with you. The first one is a knitting project, and this first one, I can't remember if I even started it the last time I filmed. I think I might have definitely swatched for it. But this is the Lakes Stripe tee by Ozetta. I test knit this for her. When this video comes out, the pattern will be about to be released. I believe it will be released next week, probably around the 14th or 15th, something like that. But I will link to her Ravelry shop below, so you can find it when it is released. So as you can see, it is a striped tee. It's got a saddle shoulder construction here. And yeah, and my pickups I think are pretty neat. I've gotten much better at that as time goes on. So how you knit it is you do the saddles, then you do the back panel, joining the saddles together, and then you do the front, and then you join front and back, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it is a fairly quick knit. I basically worked on this monogamously because it had a shorter test knit deadline than I usually sign up for. Like I think it was a 4 to 6 week deadline. I usually sign up for tests or at least 8 to 12 weeks. Yeah, but I really wanted to test knit this design, and I already kind of had the yarn in stash for it already, so I figured why not. So the yarn I use for this is Wool Dreamers, and they're sauna base, which is 50% merino, 50% cotton. I'm looking because I think I have a ball of it sitting somewhere. Here we go. All right, so yeah, 50% Manchega, extra fine wool, 50%. It's 50% wool for 50% cotton, I believe. This is the colorway Fratelli, which was the CC I used for mine. And my main color is Ozetta, which is this beautiful kind of grayish white. Yeah. I really like working with it for the most part. I did find this base to be kind of splitty. It's a 2-ply, I believe. And so sometimes I would split the plies when I was working on it. So it wasn't my absolute favorite to work on, but it wasn't horrible. I would say also like this is on the border of next to skin soft for me. I can wear it with nothing underneath. It just takes me like a few minutes for my skin to adjust to it. But I will say it is not, I think, completely warm weather friendly. Like I would wear this in the spring, but like anything 80 degrees and above, I would not wear it. It is definitely a warmer fabric than some of my other 50-50 wool cotton blends, like Toute Le Matin, 50% cotton, 50% merino. I find that one to feel much cooler to wear versus this one. It probably has to do with the type of wool that's in the sauna base versus the Toute Le Matin. Yeah, so just something to note. Yeah, but otherwise, this design is really fun. The stripes make it go by really fast. Yeah, and it's beautiful. The other test knitters have done a lot of different color combinations, and I feel like every color combination I've seen has been amazing. Like I feel like you really can't go wrong with color combinations for this tee. Yeah, and I did carry my yarn all the way. Like, so here is my side seam. It's pretty good. Not bad. Like, it's not perfect, but, it's not awful. And I'll show you what the inside of that looks like. Yeah. Yep. So that's the Lake Stripes tee by Ozetta coming out soon. All right, my other finished object is a spinning project. It is probably the biggest spin I've done so far. So here's what I've got. Ta-da! So these are from Little Fern Fibers. I have one of the tags here to see. These are Falkland. So I spun 2 4-ounce braids. as singles, and then I applied the two colorways together. So I did two different colorways. I'm trying to remember what they are right now, and actually this tag doesn't tell me what they are. I will look it up in my thing, and I'll put the colorways down below. And I'll insert pictures too. I did take pictures of kind of like my different bobbins. I took pictures of the different braids. So one braid was a little more like a pink purpley color, and the other one was like a green pink color. And the green pink color kind of gets swallowed up because there was a lot of pink and purple, but it's not bad. Yeah. So these are both Falkland wool. Micron is 27 microns. Yeah. So I got these after I spun the Falkland from Little Fiber Co. And I really like spinning Falkland, so I got more Falkland to spin with. And for these, I try to spin a little thinner singles. I was trying to aim for like a fingering sport weight. I would say I kind of got there. It's still kind of inconsistent. Like, I don't know if you can see in the skeins. There's definitely inconsistencies with how thin my singles were. So it ranges from like fingering to sport to light DK weight, I would say. Yeah. And then I had a little bit left over on my single, so I did some chain plying practice, and it was not bad. I definitely need a lot more work with my chain plying. But yeah. So I'm overall pretty happy with these. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Something. I just don't know what. But if anything, this was more like really good, just like practice for me to start to spin a little bit more consistently. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. What I feel like I'm learning a lot more now is learning how different types of fibers need different kinds, varying amounts of twist in the singles to ensure that there's like enough twist in it. Like some fibers require a little less twist, some fibers require more. I've been spinning some merino right now. That was part of the Little Fiber Co. Cookware Club, and it's 100% merino. And if you don't know, merino among spinning fibers is known to be more slippery and harder for beginner spinners. So like here's my first bobbin of that. So you can see it's not bad, but you can see there's still some consistency. You can still see some spots where I didn't get enough spin into the fiber. So yeah, like I'm finding that merino, I think I need to put more spin into and more twist into the fiber before I load it onto the bobbin. So just things like that, just things I'm trying to learn and figure out. I think spinning has been really good practice for me to learn to not be a perfectionist. The thing with spinning, unlike knitting, is that with knitting, if you make a mistake, you can rip back, you can fix it. With spinning, it's like once you put some twist into the fiber, you can't really undo that, and you can't really fix it either. So it's like you're stuck with what you get. And while that's kind of frustrating for someone like me, it's been really good for me to learn to let go and to be okay with imperfections and to be okay with the fact that I'm learning and I will make mistakes and the mistakes are okay. Yeah. All right, on to works in progress. I only have 2 to share with you today because I've been working really only on 3 projects and I finished 1, and they're all test knits. I fell off the test knit train really hard. I'm hoping these 2 will maybe be one of my last 2 test knits of the year. I don't think it's completely feasible, but I'm hoping to kind of like rein it in a little bit more too. You know, like I said last time, I have like 13 whips and I need to get some of them off my needles. Like I want to get some of them off my needles. I just need to stop adding new ones. So this first one is a tank for Samantha Guerin. I believe it's called a seagrass tank now. Here it is so far. I've gone pretty far on it. So as you can see, it's got a lace panel on the sides, not dissimilar to the springline tee I'm wearing. It is a different lace panel though. It is also only a 4-row repeat, so even easier to remember. Yeah, but I really love how it's coming along. I've got about 8 inches in the body. I think the pattern says to knit for 13 inches. So, and I do want it to be long enough that I can like tuck it into pants or skirts if I want to. Yeah, so, and then after I finish the body, all I'll have to do is just pick up for the collar a little bit and a little bit for the, like I think there's a small cap around the armhole. So yeah. I'm finding this a really fun knit, really relaxing knit. It's going by pretty fast. And the yarn I'm using is from Moondrake. It is called Pika Pika, and it is fingering weight. It is one of her bases. It is 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, 20% silk ramie. And no, 20% silk, 20% ramie. Ramie is like a treated linen fiber, I believe, where it's, I don't remember what it is, but it's a treated linen fiber. It's a lot smoother. So as you can see with this yarn, there's like no linen bits or anything sticking out. The fabric is very smooth. Yeah. And this colorway is silver. If you're going to Flock, she will have Pika Pika at her booth. So you can purchase some for yourself. I'm probably going to purchase more because I really do like this fiber. And I think it'll be good for summer wear because it is like, 40% plant-based fibers. Yeah. So this is the seagrass tank so far. And the other work in progress / test knit that I've been working on is another test knit for Amy Sher. There is a theme, as I'm sure you've been watching my podcast well, I only, well not only, but I test knit a lot for certain designers, and Samantha Guerin and Amy Sher are two of those. So this one is the campus vest, and it is a vest, but like with buttons. It's knit bottom up, so I am on the bottom right now. I did the ribbing, and now I'm just like a couple inches into the body. Yeah. That's all I've got to show you. I also wanted to do this test knit because it uses a yarn that is new to me. And this yarn is Daylights by Harrisville Yarns, Harrisville Designs. So this is American Cornrow wool. So yeah, 250 yards is a DK weight. This colorway is Chirp. And with the Daylights line, they're all like kind of a neutral color with like light hints of color to them. So like there's ones with brown and red and pink. Of course I chose the bluish one, so you can see that. Yeah, and I really like working with it so far, actually. I wasn't sure because it does feel a little rougher. I remember, I think a few years ago, I did see this in person. I saw Daylights, or maybe I saw it, what's the night version of it, like the dark version. I saw one of the versions that I remember feeling and thinking, oh, that's too like rustic and rough for me. But I think now that I've kind of expanded my repertoire of different kinds of fibers, like this is Cormo also, like I'm finding these more toothy fibers and whatever to be more tolerable to my skin. Yeah. So, and my plan with this is, even if I find that this is not next to skin soft, it's a vest. So I always be layering it anyway, but it's a good test in the meantime. Like I find that, I like to do that where like if I'm not sure if a certain fiber will work well for my skin, what I'll do is I'll plan on making a project with it where it's a layering project, like a cardigan or a vest, something that I don't have to wear next to skin so that, in the end I still have a garment that I can wear, but if it's too like itchy or scratchy for me to wear next to skin, it's not like a waste, So that's how I like to test things out because I don't really live close to any local yarn stores. So it's hard for me to feel fibers in person. So that's my workaround to it. Yeah, so this is Daylight's Chirp. All right, so that's all I've got to share with you today. Again, like I said, a quick update video. Hopefully I'll be back soon with longer videos, and especially once I get these test knits off my needles, I'll be back to working on my millions of projects, so I'll have much more to share with you in terms of different kinds of projects and that kind of thing. Yeah, but otherwise, I did want to say really quick where you can find me upcoming this year. I will be at Flock Fiber Festival teaching. And I will be there the entire weekend, so please say hi if you see me. Otherwise, I'm also teaching at Sacred Sheep in Portland in November. It is the first week in November. I'm teaching two workshops and a lecture, so I'm super excited. Tickets are live as of this week, so please go check it out. If you were planning on going to Sacred Sheep, maybe look at taking a class with me, a workshop. I will say, like, it probably is a little confusing because the material for my lecture and my workshops are pretty similar. The difference is that with the lecture, it's an hour and a half, and I think it's like the cap is like 100 people. So it's basically just a lecture. But with the workshops, they're capped at, I think I said 20 to 25 people. So it is much smaller, it is much more intimate. I have built those, and those are 2-hour classes. 2-hour classes? Yes, 2-hour classes. And I've built them so that there's time for individual feedback, individual corrections after the teaching portion of the workshop is over. So it's a great way to kind of get some feedback from me in real time and to try out anything that I'm teaching, any techniques or any postural corrections. So if you were planning on going to Sacred Sheep, or if you maybe live nearby and want to check out Sacred Sheep and want to take a class, please check that out. I will link to it in the description box below too. And I believe that is all that I am doing for the rest of this year. It's kind of crazy to think about that 2024 is almost like half over already. Yeah, but it's really exciting things coming up. Yes, that's the only two. Yes, those are the only two. I'm really excited to be teaching more fiber festivals and getting to meet more people. And don't worry, I'm starting to expand what I'm kind of applying for in terms of where in the country I'm going to go and teach. Yeah, so I hope to see you at one of those events in the future. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by and catching up with me. It's really lovely to be back here speaking to you all again. And I will see you guys next time. Happy knitting!